We've done, I think, 8 books tied to Jefferson history, and they're available as hard copies in our gift shop in Judd Hall. They can be purchased through our website for it'd be listed under the Jefferson Historical Society. And we did 3 on contrast between old photos of Jefferson, new photos called Jefferson Then and Now. The top half of the page, an old picture of a house, and then the bottom half of the page, that same house, barn, building, school, whatever, taken from the same perspective in current times, with a little information about this was the house of so-and-so, and now it's such and such. Now it's turned into a bakery or something. So we have 3 volumes of that. There's not any chronological relationship there. It's just when we found the old pictures and relocated the sites. We have so it's primarily a picture book. Our school book is basically pictures, lots of old pictures of Jefferson, school buildings, classes, graduation pictures, reunion pictures, and that's a pretty thick book of all Jefferson-related schools. We did a book on the Maple Festival, which was here from the late 60s till, I think, 1994. A huge event on the green. It would attract thousands of people. So that's essentially a picture book of old shots of the Maple Festival itself. We have a book on the 1933 diary of William Rising Stewart. He was a farmer in South Jefferson. His wife died at a very young age. He had some children, and the diary is at a period when the kids were away from the house, and he was a widower, and very often the daily account starts with alone again at the shack. And his little house he lived in, they called a shack, which was a very small place. And it talks about his daily doings, maybe helping out his son on his farm or other farmers. And associated with that, we have photos of a very high percentage of the people he talks about in the diary, which are primarily his family, the Stewarts. We have pictures of many of the houses of the people he talks about in the diary. Everybody he mentions in the diary shows up in a little spreadsheet. This tells their name, where they lived, if they're related, if they're related to him or not, and what their occupations were in the 1930 census, 3 years before the diary. So he gives a good picture of who the people are that he talks about in the diary, how they're tied to him, pictures of them in many, many cases. So it's a good snapshot of life for a widowed, lonely farmer in the 1930s. And we did a book about Carl Skidmore, World War I soldier killed in the war. His family gave us a massive set of binders of materials from his life. The letters that he wrote home, we have a collection of those. A collection of the letters that he wrote during the war. So the book, excuse me, the book includes a lot of pictures of his family members that would be involved, his friends, my grandfather, who he worked with on my great-grandfather's farm, pictures of my grandfather and Carl. They used to sing together in events around town and farm together. And so there's pictures of the people that the letters are from and to, and then essentially the letters from the war. His letters are all censored. His mother and father's letters, his mother and father writing as the war was winding down. It looks like the war is ending. When you come home, we're going to take you to see Bill and Millie. We're going to do this with you. We're going to do that with you. And then 10 days before the war ended, he was killed in the Battle of Argonne Forest. So you can just picture the spirits of the parents reading as you read the letters. They're excited he's coming home, and then there are letters that are written about what they're going to do with him when he comes home, when he was already dead. They hadn't heard yet. There's a card that the family was asked to send. If you want to send a care package to your son in France for Christmas, you need to attach this label to it. So they got that card after they've been told he was killed. So the parents are thinking our son is dead, but then they're sending us something saying maybe he's alive. And we have the letters that his father wrote to the government asking, is our son dead? Is our son alive? And then the long wait for them to find out in 1918 whether he's dead or alive. And he was buried 3 times in France. The book has the documents of when he was exhumed, how he was exhumed, how his body was identified when he was exhumed, describing what he was wrapped in, or describing that he was decayed beyond recognition. And the parents have these documents. We have the documents that describe what soldier accompanied his body from the time he got back into the United States until they turned it over to the family in Stamford at the train station. And all sorts of other related documents. The letter from the nurse who was the last person to be with him at the hospital, talking with him. And he's telling her to tell my parents, I'm fine, I'll be okay. And then not long after that, he kind of drifted off into sleep or coma, whatever, and died. So we have that extremely well documented. I'd probably as well as any service member's life during the war and what happened after the war as you'd find anywhere.